Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard from quite a few witnesses today, and you've gotten quite a bit of information. And I just wanted to start by thanking you for sticking with it through it all. I know we've heard a lot of uncomfortable topics today. We first heard from Larry Ferguson, Sergeant with the Columbus Police Department, who was the first to arrive on the scene and saw the horrific injuries firsthand to Wesley Whitehead and especially to Bernard Hawkins. Injuries that will scar the witnesses who were brave enough to stick around and tend to their injuries for the rest of their lives. We heard from Synethia Williams, who was able to affirmatively identify that Virgil McClendon was on the scene, and even down to identifying the exact clothing he was there wearing. She also identified Mr. Darwin Stone. We heard from Chuck White, whose description of Virgil McClendon matched that given by Synethia Williams, and who was able to provide more detailed descriptions regarding what happened, the events that took place at this tragic shooting. And finally, we heard from Dante Davis, who, even though he was not present at the shooting, was perhaps the most important witness of the day, as Virgil McClendon admitted to him personally that he killed Bernard Hawkins with a gun that is knowingly owned by Mr. McClendon. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind the jury of what I told them in voir dire, that thanks to transferred intent, the fact that Mr. McClendon was not attempting to kill Bernard Hawkins but Wesley Whitehead is irrelevant, as the fact that he intended to murder anyone at all is what matters under this law. The fact that he happened to hit someone who was not his intended target is irrelevant. I would also like to remind the jury that as Darwin Stone was a complicit accomplice in this, and as someone was killed in this event, Darwin Stone is just as accountable. So, with all that in mind, I ask the jury that in light of all the evidence we've seen here today, and in light of the severity of this incident, to hand down the maximum possible penalty and the maximum possible sentence to these two men. Thank you for your time, and I hope that you will consider these words.